This playoff edition of Pistons Live on FanDuel Sports Network is presented by Cure Auto Insurance. The Knicks answer the challenge and come to Detroit and claim a 2-1 series lead, 118-116 the final. They get a combined 61 from Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. Thank you for staying with us for Pistons Live following Game 3.
The turnovers is the root of all of the evil when it comes to the Knicks in their offensive production in the painted area. Moving without the ball, nice pass on the backdoor action there. So much help did not happen when the ball started to drive toward the basket for the Knicks. Big time noticeable absence when Isaiah Stewart, I got to say it, when Isaiah Stewart is not in there, things like this happen. And I'm not saying, Paul Reed didn't do a very good job.
No, he played well. Paul played well.
The presence of Isaiah Stewart, the number one shot blocker at the rim in the NBA, that means a lot. That makes a big difference.
Karl Anthony Towns answered his critics in a very big way. Brunson, no matter how tough you make it, he still finds a way to spring loose. It didn't look like he was going to get anywhere close to 30 tonight, and then he gets 30 in the with this play in the second half. But it was Karl Anthony Towns who was the biggest culprit, really from start to finish. Pistons could not slow him down, couldn't stop him, and he had a big, big night. But I want to ask Grant and I want to ask Tim a question. First of all, I am not a fan at all of the plus-minus stat. If they could get rid of any stat in this game of basketball, I'd say get rid of that one.
JB Bickerstaff, of course, manning the Pistons sideline, catching his breath and ready to reflect on what is ultimately a disappointing Game 3 loss as we take you to his post-game press conference.
JB, how disappointed are you guys right now?
I mean, it's frustrating, excuse me, for a bunch of different reasons. I thought in the second half we played well enough to win the game. There's some procedural things that we've got questions on. In the game situation, we foul. The foul happens, you go back and look at it with 1 second or 0.9 seconds. Question I have is how come we don't go to and make sure that we're positive of the time on the clock? The Brunson play where he catches the ball in the front court, recognizes that he's getting ready to go in the back court, and then drops the ball, right? And we had a timeout with 5.8 seconds on the clock. So there's some things procedurally that I have questions about, and I'd be interested to hear some answers.
I believe there's an explanation we heard in the final 2 minutes where you're allowed to have the momentum take you into the back court.
Yeah, if you catch the ball, have possession, and put it down, to me, that's possession in the front court. The ball has to be thrown into the back court. If you catch it in the front court, the ball's not in the back court. So, again, maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
When you look at, now you've had 3 matchups, obviously, with these two teams, what can you learn from tonight going into Game 4, now facing a 2-1 hole?
I mean, again, I think we were good in the second half. I thought we did a really good job, defensively. It allowed us to get out and transition, play the way we want to play offensively. So we just continue to build off of that.
JB, Tim Hardaway Jr. with a standout performance tonight, even with a lot of physical adversity early. What did you like about his perseverance today?
I mean, I thought he was great. Obviously his ability to make shots matters. But the intensity he played with, the way he guarded, I thought he gave us great life to start the game.
Any other questions?
After he had a rough game last night, talking about Karl Anthony Towns, I assume this is the type of thing that you kind of expect from their best players to rebound?
Yeah, we knew he was going to be aggressive, and he came out, and he did that early.
Tobias Harris has obviously had a big role in this series. Today they were able to lock him up until about 5 minutes to go in the game. What were they able to do to effectively take him out of your offense?
I mean, he was on the bench in foul trouble, right? That, to me, was the difference. In the game, you look at it, he's a plus 10 when he's on the floor. But it's hard to be impactful when you're sitting on the bench.
JB, what's the mood of the team in the locker room right now? There's a lot in the atmosphere. Going for them to lose like this could be pretty deflating. What are the guys feeling like right now?
We won't be deflated. Our guys are too committed to one another. We're not results driven. We'll show up Sunday and we're going to lay it on the line. We're going to fight like hell and see what happens.
Yeah, and you became confident that JB will have the guys ready to go for Game 4. All right.
I don't want to hear the officials of the league come back and say, hey, it was a bang-bang play. We're all human. They made a mistake. That's what they're going to say because the Pistons had the right to this was a bad call. He caught the ball in the front court right there, and then he dropped it in the front court, and then he took it to the back court. It's a simple play.
He had possession.
Listen. When the league comes back and they issue this statement about an apology, they messed the call up or whatever. That's what they're going to say. It's exactly what they're going to say. They blew that call.
It's still more post-game reaction to come following the Pistons' Game 3 loss to the Knicks. We'll take you into the Pistons locker room more on the way from the podium as well as the Pistons fall to the Knicks in Game 3, 118-116, the final here tonight.
Tim, really from start to finish, it was a game of runs on both sides. You guys only led for, I believe, 2:37 of the ball game. In a game like this, in this environment, how tough of a challenge was it to, play from behind for the majority of the night?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit of excitement, coming back home and playing. But, they came in there and did their job. I got to give them credit. But for the most part, we got to do a better job of eliminating the easy ones. Fast break opportunities, turnovers that we could, that we caused on ourselves, not our opponent doing it to us, or forcing it, for us to cause those turnovers. So, for the most part, I mean, we competed, we battled, they did their job. So we got to come back on Sunday and be ready.
You being somebody that has obviously playoff experience playing in the finals a year ago, I know ideally you don't want to be in a 2-1 hole, but how important will it be for you guys to reset and come out with the right attitude on Sunday? I mean,
it starts right now. This game is over with. All we can do is learn from it, move on, get better, watch film, see what we can do to put ourselves in a better position, to win the ball game on Sunday.
First of all, how's your eye?
It's good.
Okay, great. When you're putting up the shots that you are tonight, and it's nice to see the numbers contributing in a different way. Maybe when you look back at tonight's game, do you feel that it was called differently than the last two?
You're trying to get me in trouble. You know what? It is what it is at the end of the game, at the end of the day. I feel like for ourselves, we got to do a better job not putting, those guys in that position. We have to try to do a better job of, like I said, giving ourselves a better opportunity to win the ball game and win on our terms for the most part. So it is what it is at the end of the day, but at the same time, on Sunday, we have to do a better job of that.
That's a developing non-issue. The Knicks took 29 free throw attempts. The Pistons took 27. Pretty evenly called game. Game 4 here on Sunday. We'll take a look ahead next on Pistons Live. There's Game 4 to be played here on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We will have Game 5 for you from New York on Tuesday. Hopefully the series is tied at 2 games apiece when they head back to Madison Square Garden. Our coverage begins at 7. They will tip at 7:30. Let's talk about Game 4 first, though. Pistons really end up losing by 2 points, right? I mean, that's the difference. So, Tim, I don't think there's any need to reinvent the wheel going into Game 4.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the offensive side for the Pistons. I saw too many times tonight that they went rogue in the offense and they didn't trust the cycling through of a play call to get the best shot. A lot of one-on-one. That just doesn't work in the playoffs.
Yeah, we will see you again prior to Game 5. Once again, the final from Game 3. The Knicks 118, the Pistons 116. For all of us at FanDuel Sports Network, thanks for watching. Good night, kids.
Good night, Romulus.
I am more than capable. I am unbreakable. I am more than capable. I am unbreakable.